Welcome to the Make It Happen with Will Polston podcast.
You make a distinction between joy and happiness in your book.
Yes. So happiness, in the definition of the happiness equation, is the peace and calm you feel when you're okay with life as it is. So remember, the happiness equation says happiness is equal to or greater than the difference between the events of your life and your expectations of how those events should be, right? So when the events meet or beat expectations, what do you get? You get that peace inside you. You get that feeling of, I'm actually okay. My partner is wonderful in enough ways for me to say I'm very happy with this person. Okay, my current financial situation is not at the best it could have been, but it's good enough for me. This is what I expected from life. If we get to that point, we get the peacefulness that I define as happiness. Remember, that does not define happiness as fun and joy and parties and laughter and all of that. We'll come back to this in a minute. This is what I call the state of escape. Okay, that state of happiness, being okay with life as it is a binary state. It's either I'm okay with life or I'm not okay with life. If you're okay with life, it's a 1 in binary. That means I'm happy. Any other state is a 0. I'm not happy. So there is no happy and happier. There is just happy. Okay. Joy is the frequency of being happy. And practitioners of meditation techniques, practitioners of mind strategies, practitioners of mindfulness, practitioners of constantly visiting yourself will tell you that with practice, you can cultivate that state of happiness a lot more frequently. So by the way, unhappiness is a survival mechanism. Remember, it's your brain reminding you that something is not right. Okay, so we will all feel unhappy at points in the day and throughout the year. My measurement is not how frequently I feel unhappy, it's how quickly I bounce back to happiness. Okay, and with mind training, and I say that publicly, even though it appears to be like bragging, it is not. I measure this. Last year, 2019, I felt unhappy 4 times. Okay. In those 4 times, 2 took me 7 seconds to bounce back to happiness. 1 took me 4 hours and the other took me a full day. Okay. And that is not because I'm an exceptionally designed superhero. It's because of practice. Just like fit people, when they go and do bench press, okay, throughout their exercise scheme, there might be 2 or 3 times in the year where they don't do it right. Okay. Otherwise, their bodies are capable of handling that. How do you bounce back to happiness? Through very clear practices and regimens that basically tell you to compare events to expectations as the reality really is, not as you wish life would be. Before we go there, let me talk about the state of escape. Because in the modern world, where there is so much that disturbs our happiness, we have believed the mainstream media and the advertising industry that there are replacements for happiness. I call them weapons of mass distraction. Okay, so if I feel unhappy, I can allow myself to buy a new iPhone and this is going to make me happy. Or if I feel unhappy, I'll go out looking for a partner to have fun with. Or if I feel unhappy, I'm going to go to a party, loud music, a couple of drinks, and suddenly I am not solving the happiness equation anymore. My brain is numbed. Okay, and when my brain is numb, I don't solve the happiness equation. Events don't meet or miss expectations. I'm not even thinking about them. I'm back to my default setting as a child, which is happy. The problem with fun in that format is that we're using it as a painkiller. Okay, we feel unhappy. We pop in a couple of paracetamols or whatever, and basically the unhappiness goes away for a few hours as long as the impact of the fun is happening. You wake up the next morning after the party, and what do you get? Your brain goes like, but your boss is annoying. I need to talk to you about this. Okay? And so suddenly you go back to unhappiness. So you jumped on the treadmill, you run really fast, your brain goes like, oh my God, we're going to die. I might as well focus on this and not think about the boss. And so you find happiness again until you hit the showers. And your brain goes like, hey, seriously, there is an issue. We need to talk about this. Okay? And so fun interestingly, from a scientific point of view, is not a replacement to happiness at all. Because when you're having fun, you're having dopamine pumped into your blood, a reward hormone that is telling us, okay, feel excited, do more about this. Okay, dopamine is the hormone that also helps our procreation, for example. If sex wasn't enjoyable, we wouldn't have enough of it to have children. Okay, so it's the way your brain tells you to repeat an activity that's important for your general survival and the survival of the species, even though it's not related to an immediate threat. Okay, happiness, on the other hand, your system is flooded with serotonin. Serotonin is the opposite hormone of dopamine. Serotonin is the hormone that basically tells your body, we're okay with everything. Rest now, activate your parasympathetic nervous system, relax, start to focus on digestion, relax your muscles, rest, sleep, don't feel stressed, operate as a normal human being. Okay. The challenge between them is that the more dopamine you have in your blood, the less serotonin you have. And so we get addicted to fun to the point where it becomes a drug. It becomes a painkiller. We can't live without it.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. So I love the way you talk about the weapons of mass destruction, and I completely get where you're going with that. In terms of joy, though, so are you saying that joy is the fun side of things?
No. So let's go back to joy. I apologize for forgetting that. Joy is that repeated unhappiness. It's that state of perpetual happiness. Okay? It's that state where regardless of what's going on in your life, you're okay with life as it is. Okay? Now very, very high practitioners of insight, if you want, or happiness, realize that life always meets expectations. That it's actually quite childish to expect life not to meet expectations. Life is governed by incredibly complex equations that really run the show exactly as it should run. Okay, so there is so much causality in life. If you've been trying to succeed at work and failing, that's not because life is missing your expectations, because you're doing something wrong. Okay, you either are at the wrong job, or you're not doing it right, or you whatever. Right? If you're gaining weight constantly, it's not because your metabolism is less than the other person. It's because you're eating too much carbs. So it is very straightforward. Huh? And some of us love that victim attitude of like, but life is so difficult for me. I'm the one that is so unlucky. No, it's not true. Life is just a video game, really. Okay, it has very set rules, and those very set rules are up to you to navigate.
You can find the full episodes of the Make It Happen with Will Polston podcast here on YouTube, on iTunes, Spotify, and all other major podcast platforms.